Hello, hello. If you can hear me, just try and jump over and get things set up for you guys. Well, let's see. So, can you guys hear me? Good to see you. Get us next. WID, just about to rain for you. Oh no, mate. And Duck. Hello, Duck. Good to see you. Watching from Le Shuttle Franck. Very nice, mate. Hope you're doing well, by the way. Sean, Don, Chris, how's it going, guys? So I'm a man with a plan tonight. I noticed my webcam's alter that. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather some data for an upcoming video that I want to do. We're comparing bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4 through the Edge HD11 with a mono camera on a small target. So the Bubble Nebula is what we're going after tonight. So it should be a good one. Clear all week in Leicester. Oh mate, and then it's going to rain tonight for you. That's rough. Oh, thanks for letting me know you can hear me, guys. That's Andy. So yeah, let's try and dive into this. I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of getting the scope just about focused before we made a start. So can hopefully jump in and just start gathering data and then chat away if you guys fancy that kind of thing. You got thunderstorms right now. Did finish at 8 our Iris Nebula. Very nice. Turned out really well. I think I'm finally out of your beginning phase. Very good, mate. Very good indeed. Going great. What we're looking at tonight. So we're looking at the Bubble Nebula. Don, that's what we're going after tonight, mate. As you can see, we've got a rather restrictive field of view, but we're going to work with it and hopefully just get a close-up of the bubble for a comparison video. So what I want to do, really, that's all I'm after finishing. So let's go ahead and get lined up on this thing. I will start off, I think, by adding it to sequence. We'll just use a legacy sequencer for this thing. Is it in Cassiopeia? You know what, mate? I'm not actually sure if it falls within Cassiopeia. I'll show you on Stellarium in just a moment exactly where we are pointing, but just get this actually set up and running as we are about to, with any luck. If I just turn the sky cam on as well, you can see that. About to hit not astronomical darkness, but astronomical twilight. We're just in it actually by a few minutes, and we've got that through till 2. What time is that? 2:17, 2:19 or so. So yeah, back to this sequencer real quick. So what I really want to do is I'm going to use 60-second subs. Really rather short, I realise, but I want a lot of them so I can actually do some stacking from this short session. We do want to dither every, let's say every 6th sub. We're going to keep the gain at 210, offset 100. We're going to do all this in hydrogen alpha. So it's as fair as can possibly be. That's all we're taking tonight for this. That's the first part. Click add, and the next one's going to be exactly the same, but bin 2. Exactly the same, but bin 3. And one more in bin 4. And then we can go ahead for a future video. Stack all this together. I'll turn diver off for all of those other ones. We only need it on one of these actually active, and we can run through this. I'll just put an arbitrary number in, 100 times. It's not going to reach that, but that'll do. Bubble Nebula bin test. That'll do. I think that will do nicely. Now it's just a case of, will it actually work properly? I actually forgot to set as well just there. I'll just click stop real quick. Autofocus and refocus after every 40 minutes or so. We'll get caught up with the chat in just a moment, guys. Casey, good to see you, mate. How's everything? Everything's not too bad, to be honest. Yeah, thank you very much for asking. How are things with you these days, buddy? Crikey. Oh, Casey, that's so kind of you, mate. $50 coming in hot. Wow. Let's get that pamper money going. Crikey. Thanks so much for that, mate. That's huge. Unbelievable support. Mate, I hope you know how much I do appreciate you guys and all the support you give. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I made the purchase I told you I won't make. Oh no. Begins with a R. Dumpy Dalek, good to see you by the way, Titch. Chris, Nappy Stash Funds. Oh, crikey, mate. With the £20. Thank you so much, Chris. Unbelievable, buddy. I'll tell you what, while I just gather myself, I'll put it on Sky Camera, I'll go make sure these cables don't end up snagged or anything for us, and I'll be back. Ooh, everything seems to be pretty safe, thankfully. I don't think I caught the scope moving, unfortunately, though, for you, did I? It ends in an ASA. That's a RASA, good sir. Which one did you go for, Casey? The 8, the 11? Don't say the 14. Crikey. Yeah, RASA. Congratulations on that, buddy. They are such fantastic scopes. The 8, yeah, really like that scope. In fact, the other chap just there who's donated, Chris Digata, in chat, I think he's got 3 of them at the minute. Absolutely loves them. Let's just see if this thing gets focused successfully. That's going to be the first test. Look at that though, the bubble's huge in the field of view. Oh my goodness. Crikey, thank you again, by the way, guys, for that donation. That's well, just absolutely wonderful of you. Do not put too fine a point on it. Really kind of you, thank you. Any plans to use a harmonic mount in the observatory regularly? Absolutely. To be honest, yes, absolutely. I've got one up and running outside tonight. I'm running the ASI Air on the new AM5N. Undoubtedly, you're not going to be able to see this properly, guys. I'm sorry, but I'll do my best. Just on the screen right there. You can maybe see if it will focus. Is it going to focus? It's not going to focus. Sorry. It's the Bubble Nebula region. Anyway, is what I'm imaging with that thing outside right now. I do have some more gear in the observatory that I need to get set up as well, and while we're on this view, I'll just show you it real quick. You guys can have a sneak peek. It's this thing right here, the ASI 676 MC. Looking forward to playing with that some more. I've had it out for a short session, just playing around. Really quite nice camera. I think I will be stumping up the cash and keeping that thing, you know what I mean? Let's just see if I've caught any more chat. Ghost Flyer, good to see you, Ghost. Thomas was asking, how long am I planning on streaming for? If all goes well, Thomas, right the way through till about 2:15 in the morning for me. So, you know, a good 2 hours and a bit from now. Don was asking what camera am I using. On this thing, it's the Player One Aries M Pro, so it's a 533 MM Pro. If you like, that's its closest neighbour. Looks like we should get a successful autofocus with any luck. Just see if I've missed anything else. Doing the dumbbell is duck, and then the cocoon next. Perfect size for your setup. Awesome. What's your actual setup, Astro Duck, these days? Oh, someone asked that as well, Don. Right, I'm just trying to get caught up a little bit more with chat. I'm already falling behind. I'm very sorry about this, guys. What filter am I using? It's an astronomic 6.5 nanometer HA filter. Basically, that's what I'm going to do all the testing with tonight. Depending on how this actually turns out and what my findings are, if you will, it's all just a bit of fun, really. I enjoy doing tests like this and sharing them with people, but depending on what I find in that video, I will continue on and hopefully get a nice image of the bubble properly using hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur. all together eventually. Let's just see. Dimitrios, good to see you, Dimitrios. Nice guy again. Deserve it with all the help you give for your videos. Oh, thank you, mate. That's really kind of you. Really kind of you to say. Brody, good to see you. More gear. I'm sorry, Titch. I know, mate. It's I curse everybody, I think, with the gear that comes through for reviews. I actually took a short time lapse. I'll be able to show you on the screen from this in a minute already. Pretty cool to use it just as an all-sky camera, I think. Do you have astronomical darkness over here? Not at all, mate, unfortunately, right now. It's just astronomical twilight, a perpetual state of twilight right through till dawn, unfortunately. Dave, Deep Space Dave, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you on a stream. Sebastian, good to see you. Jefferson Jensen, or is that Jensen Jefferson? Hello to you too, mate. What's the theoretical limit on how narrow can narrowband go? Ooh, at long focal lengths, long, or rather large focal numbers, I'll get myself straight. There's very little bandpass shift from the incoming light being almost parallel with the surface of the filter and the mass within the filter, so there's very little shift, meaning you could, if using something like an f10 scope, probably get right the way down to a 1.5, 2 nanometer filter, perhaps, that kind of thing, and still not suffer any drop off. If it was a perfectly made filter, that is. Very accurate centering, but it would only be useful for very slow scopes, or rather very large focal ratios, should I say. So here's our first sub, bin 1, hydrogen alpha, f10. Not bad, 60 seconds, we can see all the main structure, a lot of sweepy stuff going on in this gas. That's pretty nice. It'll be interesting to see how bin 2, bin 3, bin 4 shape up when everything's actually stacked together on this. Let's just see. Casey, I'm glad you're streaming. The days are beautiful and the nights stormy for 8 more days. Oof. Well, I'm always happy to stream, Casey. Absolutely, mate. I love sharing my evenings with you guys. It's a privilege. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm lucky to be able to do this, and it's all thanks to you guys. So anything I can do, I'll do it. Are you in London, Luke? I'm not, mate. No, I'm a couple of 100 miles north of London. I'm near a place called Leeds, or near enough anyway. So this is the bin 2 sub that's just came in. Should be interesting to see. Kevin Maben, hi everyone, hello to you. And hello to you too as well, Lee. Good to see someone as clear skies. Yeah, I mean, I nearly got set up last night, Lee, but just weren't good enough to bother, you know what I mean? Actually, tonight it doesn't look too bad all the way through if the weather holds, so let's make the most of it, eh? Duck is answering what I asked earlier. I do believe he has the Canon T100 camera with a Skywatcher, Star Adventurer, and a Newtonian and a refractor. Very nice. That's quite a bit of gear you've got there, mate, to get set up with. Let's just see. How long before some company comes along with AI-generated guiding algorithm? Ooh. Depends on what you mean by that. I suppose you could, at least in theory, I suppose, as far as I know, maybe use AI to analyze your guide pulses, how they're reacting with your mount on the night, and kind of like hysteresis right there, by viewing the history of the previous guide pulses. Use that to predict how large or small future guide pulses should probably be. You could maybe power that kind of thing, but not really sure how much use it is. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll completely eat my words and I'll be like, AI guiding, guys, it's the way. You never know. Astrovino, good to see you, bud. Finally able to open the scopes tonight. Awesome. Let's see. Sebastian is on a 10-hour squid at f4.4 mono camera, 3nm filters. Still needs more hours. Yeah. I'm not too surprised, dude. It's such a faint target, that it's unbelievable. Not sure I'm patient enough for this target with 3 hours of darkness per night. Ooh, yeah, I feel your pain there, Sebastian. That's a tough one. Scott, good to see you, Scott. You know that short and dew shield makes that Edge HD11 look way big. It does a bit, doesn't it, mate? Yeah. I had to shorten that thing, otherwise it just wouldn't fit in my observatory. I've got the pier centered between the two narrowest walls, of course, but the gap in between is about 7 foot 6 inches or so, 7.5 feet. And it just wasn't safe to leave that thing at full length. I couldn't even really park the scope properly. Got my last name right, Kevin Maben. Well, hopefully I got your first name right as well, Kevin. If it's a new one, might have a mirror edge mask. Chris is saying that to Casey. I do believe about his new Rasa, by the way. More marketing than anything else, I would bet, in relation to the... we're talking about the guide, the AI powered, the idea you mentioned there, yeah. Let's see. Would you be able to photograph Comet 13P? We could maybe have a look at it at the end of the night, mate, if it's visible for me, but truth be told, I really need to get some data on this target, otherwise I won't have a video to provide at the end of the week kind of thing. Oh, crikey. Casey, with the 20 gifted memberships, thank you so much for that, mate. That's tremendously kind of you. Blimey, you're just showering support tonight. It's fantastic, guys. I never really know what to say, of course. I mean, other than, well, thank you, plainly, as I do appreciate it, but you know, I just don't feel like I deserve any of this kind of thing. I'm just a guy sharing my rig. Do you know what I mean? But still, thank you. I hope you do know I appreciate you. Next, it's getting clearer for you. Awesome to hear that, bud. I think that's the one Luke Sean, so his Raster 11 would fit in the Obsy. That's exactly right, Dave, yeah. Did you use ASTAP or Plate Solve Free for this setup? Asks Alumgir Mia, if I've got your name correct. Good sir, I used ASTAP. I will just double check, but I do believe my plate solving is done with, yeah, ASTAP right there. You can see it's selected in Nina. Yeah, works really well. Currently using 10-second exposures, luminance filter, bin to gain 350, and those are my settings. I have to use quite a long exposure with such a tight field of view in order to make sure we get enough stars to get a successful solve from this thing. Let's just see. Paul D, glad to see you have clear skies. Thank you. Clear skies for you in Phoenix, Arizona. Just sucks that it's 105 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 40.5 C. Oof. That's too hot for me, dude. Crikey. I did get your name correct then, Kevin, yeah. Aaron Williams, hello from North Carolina. Hello to you too, mate. Very nice to have you on the stream. Really nice to have you all, of course, even if I can't say hello to everybody individually. It's a real pleasure to be able to share the stream. Let's just see. Do you know a way or how to live stack in Nina? So not within Nina, mate. I don't, to be honest with you. I know there's a PixInsight plugin that you can run alongside it. Never tried it though, so I can't say anything beyond that. I'd just be pulling details out of my butthole. I don't really want to do that, but what I do sometimes is I'll run a live stack simultaneously using folder monitor live stacking in SharpCap, where you just point it to Nina's output folder where it's saving all these subs. It'll monitor that, keep an eye on it, and every time a new file pops up, it'll stack it. I do find that works really, really well. Stefan, good to see you again, Stefan. Really nice to have you here, buddy. How's things going? Very happy today, and I like smiles, says Casey. That's awesome, mate. Yeah, I'm feeling really good today as well. To be honest with you, I'm having a real nice day so far. So, you know, it's only going to get better by sharing it with you guys. So, thank you. Thank you again. Ramiro, by the way, as well. Hello from Panama. Awesome. Ayan, that's my better half right there. Chloe is asking, do I have her scope pointed at anything? I do indeed. Your scope is also pointed at the Bubble Nebula, Chloe. So I can pull up some subs from that thing. I've got things up and running. And you can see what that looks like through Chloe's ASCAR 120 setup that we've got running with a 585 camera, a colour version, and a dual narrowband filter. I'll just try and find a sub for you. Let's take a look on the network. Chloe Astro. Oops. And we should have a sub on screen in a moment from tonight. So this will do. There we go. 1 minute subs running on Chloe's ASCAR 120 at f7.1-ish. These should stack up very nicely, I will say. It's beautiful tight stars on this thing. Really, really impressed with that ASCAR, you know. When I first got offered that for review on the channel, I was a little bit skeptical because I thought to myself, this thing's coming in at like £1,500. How the heck are they going to make a good triplet refractor, 120mm triplet refractor for that money? They did. They just straight up did. Yeah, absolutely love it. So much so that I bought it. So yeah, we can continue to enjoy the thing. But here it is, it's native. Actually my favourite way to use it. I find it's really, really sharp like that, but yeah, that's what's running alongside. Let me just catch up with chat a little bit, and a lot of thank you for the memberships, indeed. Yes, thank you very much indeed, Casey, for all those fantastic gifted subs, dude. That's really awesome of you. Definitely missed some chat right here. I'm just going to try and reacquaint myself, get caught up. Astrovino asks, which filter and camera are you using tonight, Luke? Beautiful subs you're getting on the Bubble Nebula. So my whole setup is the Celestron Edge HD 11, running at its native f10, so completely unreduced. A 533, IMX 533 based monochrome camera. In my case, it happens to be the Player One Aries M Pro. 6.5nm filter, a HA filter from Astronomic, and that's my whole setup basically, mate, for tonight. Tom Griffin, a Kiwi in North Wales. Beautiful clear skies here in North Wales, imaging the Pelican Nebula after firmware issues with ASI Air. Ooh, what's been the issue then, Tom? I've just set up my own ASI Air rig with the new AM5N and the wide field refractor rig, and it all just went pretty swimmingly, to be honest. I'll find out what version I am on, by the way, Tom, if you're interested. It's 215.11.08 is the current build that I am on, if that helps you at all. Good evening, Luke, says D-Fresh. Good evening to you too, buddy. Always nice to have you on a stream. You're the man, Lone Monk. He is indeed. He is indeed. Such a nice chap. Don't burst the bubble. Ooh, could that be the title for the upcoming comparison video? I bursted the bubble. Something equally clickbaity. Just see. Glad someone's getting some clear weather, says Captain Tech Review. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I'm doing my best to share it anyway. That's the key thing, I reckon. Love to see the difference in pictures. It is always quite interesting, I think, mate. I probably have more fun in some regards doing comparisons these days than actual just taking normal photos. Getting my AVX hyper-tuned and the bearings replaced because, you know, it's an AVX, says Scott. Oh, man. Yeah. A friend of mine had some major issues with an AVX at one point. I'm not saying you're going to have the same problem, but it did end up kind of ruining the hobby for him for a while. He ended up selling it, buying an AM5, you know, the original AM5s, and while it was an option for him, I realise it's not an option for everybody because the bloody expensive mounts, but it sorted everything out for him. I think most of his trouble, though, wasn't so much with the hardware, but it was, you know, Celestron's CPWI software, or whatever the heck it's called. It just wouldn't communicate with the rest of his rig reliably. So, yeah, gave him no end of trouble. I hope you're having less issues than that, Scott. Yeah. Stefan is saying, you're doing very good. Awesome to hear that, mate. We'll travel under my skies soon. Okay, cycling from Switzerland to Scotland. Crikey. That's going to be a few tyre changes, mate, isn't it? That's one heck of a cycle. Nice bubble, says Space Rocks and Stardust. Thank you, mate. It's not looking too bad, is it? I'll be really interested to see what this thing looks like after actually stacking these up, the bin 1, 2, 3, and 4, and taking a look side by side, as I often like to do. D-Fresh got maybe an hour on the Eagle Nebula last night, then clouds rolled in. Ugh, no. Sorry to hear it, mate. But it was from bottle 2. Oh, mate, yeah, that's that makes a difference for sure. Kevin Maben, going to finally get some rain next week here in Arkansas. Well, rain if you need it, as my my friend Pat Prokop always says, is always very nice. Dave Allison, hi from West Yorkshire. Hello there, Dave. Got my observatory built last week. Fantastic. Congratulations to you, mate. Pier gets bought down tomorrow, so this stream is great for when I can get out myself. Glaze Guys, mate. Thank you. Glaze Guys, right back to you. And 3 thumbs up as well. 1, 2, 3. What type of 3D printer do you use? That's John Megner. I use 3 Bamboo P1S printers. I went for the P1S because I don't tend to print, you know, terribly dangerous exotics or anything like that in terms of filaments. It's normally just PETG these days is basically all I use for all of my printing. Yeah, I chose those Bamboo P1Ss for my little 3D print business, as they just work, well, awesome, to be honest. Really reliable, super low fail rate, so that's what it's all about. Stargazer Ridge, good evening, Luke. Good evening to you too, mate. You bought the FRA 600 and Reducer. Very pleased. Awesome. I really fancy one of those scopes myself at some point, to be honest. Yeah, they look like a beautiful thing. Congratulations is all I can say. Jewel McLaren, hi from Tennessee. Well, hello to you too, Jewel. Hope you're having a very fine day over there. What camera did Luke say for his wife's scope? I missed it. It's the Player One Uranus C Pro. So it's a cooled one-shot color IMX 585 based camera, buddy. It's just Player One's version. So you can liken it to the 585 MC Pro, that kind of thing. It's the same camera, just a different body, different mechanical setup, very slightly. What's with the HFR ripple? So the HFR is naturally dropping as the pixel size increases effectively through binning. And that's what's happening right there. So you notice it's going completely cyclically from bin 1 to 2, 3, 4, with the smallest HFRs coming on bin 4, the largest coming on bin 1. So I hope that explains why there's that kind of sawtooth. Well pointed out, by the way, Stefan. Going on right there on the HFR history graph. You got ads. Oh, crikey. Well, at least I know ads are serving. Both using 533 cameras. I'm using a 533 and the other is a 585. Gave away an AVX with an ED80 a few years ago. That's a nice, beautiful starter scope in it, to be honest, and well beyond starter, to be honest. I've seen a lot of really beautiful images taken with an ED80. I had one. Excuse me. Keep swallowing air while I'm talking to you. Yeah, I had an ED80 a long time back. Loved it. Kind of wish I never sold it, but you know, grass is always greener, innit? Sebastian Ducasse is asking, have you ever gone a Rasa 8? I did indeed. I absolutely loved it, mate. Yeah, really tremendous telescope. And I would have still had it if I had the spare funds to keep that and the scope that replaced it, which was a Rasa 11. Luckily for me, a friend of mine got in contact. He had a Rasa 11, wanted a Rasa 8, so we did a little bit of a swap-a-rooney with some cash going his way, and we both got what we wanted in the end, so it turned out quite nice. But yeah, Rasa 8, can firmly recommend it. Chuck has the same problem. CPWI gives him problems with his celestial mounts. Yeah. I remember I was trying to kind of solve the problems with my friend over emails. I know it's not the greatest way to do it, but that's what we were doing at the time. And it was kind of a never-ending, a new problem every session, and it was causing him so much frustration. I hate to be the guy that sometimes recommends just throw more money at a solution, but in his in his case, it was the best option, and it did work, thankfully. Yeah, I know they work for some people, but crikey, he struggled. Seems like everyone has issues with them. Yeah, man, it's tough. Chuck has like 10 setups though, so who cares? Contingency, yeah. If even if all 9 of his other rigs go down, he's still got one running. After firmware update, also back on with the ASIR, says Tom Griffin. Refused to recognize your ZWO 533MC, but eventually it did. All good now. That's a weird one. Tom, I'm glad to hear you got it sorted though, buddy. Also enjoy the Play 1 cameras? Absolutely, mate, yeah. Wonderful build. Currently have the Uranus C Pro running on the ASCAR 8 to PHQ. Nice. Great view of the Celestron Edge HD OTA. That's quite the beast. Yeah, if we just go over to Pete's cam, right there, you can see a quick view into the observatory. Things are up and running. It seems like Pete's cam has actually bit the bullet for now, though it's or rather kicked the bucket, should we say, and it's not updating properly. So, yeah, we'll have to sort that out off stream. It's a nice camera, but bloody hell, the connection into my streaming software, OBS, is super flaky. Which is odd, because connection into its own software is totally robust. Never once gave me any issues. Bit awkward. Let's just see. Sorry, I keep yawning at you guys. I've had not enough sleep tonight. Well, last night. What one-shot colour did you use with your Rasa 8? Asks Casey. So, my favourite two that I used with the Rasa 8, Casey. The 585 probably took top spot. I really enjoyed the kind of field of view that it gave, as well as the relatively fine sampling ratio at the 400mm focal ratio, focal length, rather, from the Rasa. I really like the 585. Second favourite, not far behind, was the IMX 571s, so the Play 1 Poseidon, ASI 2600, that kind of thing. But to use one of those successfully, you can use the inbuilt adapter. So it's going to come with a camera adapter when you get your Rasa 8, Casey. It will cause a little bit of vignette on the outsides of an APS-C chip. But there you have it. It's easily fixed, but again, it is a solution that costs money, unfortunately. The Stargazing adapter is what I went for. That solved it. And yeah, nice to know anyway. But if you're using something like a 585, the included adapter from Celestron is going to be absolutely fine. Next C is using this time to build up your Uranus C Pro Dark library. What gain do you use on the Uranus C Pro? So gain 210, I do believe. Hang on, I'll just find out for you for sure. Actually, Nexy, it's just running over on these other rigs. So Yeah, gain 210, offset 50. That's my kind of go-to for the Uranus C Pro. Finally getting another trip under bottle 1 skies in 3 weeks or 3 days. That's going to be absolutely... Sorry for yawning. Oh, I really could do some more sleep tonight. That's going to be absolutely awesome, Casey. Are you going to be able to take your RASA with you on that one? Because, my word, you're going to get some data, mate, if you take that thing. F2 and bottle 1 skies. My word. Just try and catch up with chat a little bit. I'm just a touch behind, unfortunately, guys. 200 gain, 50 offset on the Uranus. You were very close, Chloe. Yeah. Pretty much no difference. Smash the like button for Luke. It says Don. Thank you, Don. Ollie, just seeing you there, Ollie. Astro Soundscape. My friend's got a channel. If you haven't already seen him, check him out for sure. Really nice chap. Wonderful content. I hope he goes far. Yeah, Astro Soundscape. How's it going, mate? It's not doing too bad, Ollie, to be honest. I'm having a pretty good day, mate. I'll be honest. Just put out a ridiculous music video I think you'll like. It's next level stupid. I'm there for it, mate. I will absolutely watch that. 100%. Does anybody watch WWE? Oof. You know, I don't think I've seen WWE in years. It's always good fun though when it's on. Really looking forward to your review and testing of the ASI 676MC. I like the specs of the sensor, especially the super low dark noise for deep sky. Yeah, me too, Dave. That's why I chose that one in particular. There's like one thing that I don't want to say I don't like, but I'm just a little bit like about, and that's the fact that on this 676 sensor, it's extremely sensitive right out into the infrared. But they chose to supply it with an infrared cutting window, which does limit your planetary options a little bit, unless you're willing to actually change the window yourself, which I could do, in fairness. So it's not, it's not a massive gripe, but nonetheless, I really would have thought it would have been better to bundle it with a, an IR pass window natively, and maybe provide just a little 1.25 inch IR cut for people. But that's just me. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's an extremely blooming promising sensor. It seems to be really good. Let's just see. I really do apologize, guys. I know I'm a little bit behind on chat. I just don't really want to miss people's messages. Really, I mean, it's kind of a boring session I've got going on, probably for most people to watch. So I want to focus actually on catching up with you guys more than anything. Finally able to get a good run in last night, says Ben McLaren. Unfortunately, the EQ8R Pro has tracking issues at low altitudes. Oh no! But your camera and scope are so forgiving that it works. Ben, I've got one thing I can suggest right there, Ben. You probably already know about this, but I do believe the clutch design on the EQ8, and I think it might be on the R as well, the EQ8R, it can deflect very slightly the mesh of the gears in the head when it's tightened down too hard. So you may wish to try retensioning your clutch with, just enough pressure, definitely not, too tight. Go ahead, run guiding calibration once again, because any deflection between the gears is going to alter your guide calibration backlash amount, of course, and see if it guides better then. I know that it gives me issues on mine if I have clutches too tight. I don't know if that's going to be any use for you, Ben, but I just thought I'd put it out there, mate. Jump from RASA 8 to 11 is huge money-wise. It is, mate, yeah. Sturdy mount, bigger filters, full frame camera. Yeah. I'm going to buy a RASA 8. Sebastian, honestly, mate, I think the RASA 8 is every bit as good as the RASA 11. They're just two different sizes. Do you know what I mean? In fact, not arguably, just truthfully, the RASA 8 gave me a lot less issues than the RASA 11 did. That's one thing to take into consideration. We need a RASA in the UK. Yeah. Oh, just missing some. Oh, Astrovino, welcome to Solar Support. Thank you for joining my channel membership system there, Astrovino. Really do appreciate the support, mate. Thank you. Gets here on Tuesday, which gives you a chance to set it up. Fantastic. Yeah, I would absolutely recommend a couple of familiarization run-throughs in your own like backyard environment if you can image from there, Casey. As you know, it's always best to do that rather than take it somewhere dark and then start pulling your hair out when you get there, you know what I mean? Let's just see. What are we imaging, guys? Is this the Edge? Asks Astro Soundscape Ollie. Indeed, mate, this is the Bubble Nebula. It's a mega tight crop on it, and we're running through subs bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4. That's where you can see a difference on each one of these that come in. So I'm just cycling through the whole night long in order to make a comparison video to share with people on the channel, because I find that kind of thing interesting, basically. Pete needed a nap. Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. Let's just see. Chris is recommending IMX571 for a RASA 8 if you set it up well. Yeah, it makes the most use of the available imaging circle on the RASA 8. Kind of depends on what you want to do, I would say. You will get slightly more detailed images from a 585, but you may have to run mosaics and things like that if you want to image larger swaths of nebulosity. Let's just see. You know I bought all of the adapters already. I see, Casey. Mr. Huff took care of the rest. Fantastic. Yeah, Dave also in chat there. Deep Space Dave. Dave Huff got a RASA 8 as well. It seems like there's a lot of RASA owners hanging about these days, with good reason, I'd say. Hope your skies are clear for 3 days. For Casey, absolutely, yeah. We can all cross his fingers for that one, dude. Getting practice for being tired when that baby gets here, says Scott. Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah, I'm here for it. It's gonna be an interesting time. Love your live streams, says Don. Thank you, Don. I'm really glad to hear you like them, mate. Let's just see now. Dave, another advocate for the 585 with the RASA 8. I was able to confirm that Player One is developing their own Astro PC, says Scott. Ooh. I'm looking forward to that, mate, to be honest. If it's anything like... I'm a little bit biased with this because I love ASI Air, but if it's anything like an ASI Air, oh, man, am I looking forward to that kind of thing. Skip the 585 and go for the 533. Says Casey. In regards to camera choice for your RASA 8, yeah, well, the 533 is a lovely camera. I like both. It's a tough one. I think for sharing images in a desktop format, smartphone format, that kind of thing, the 585 is a little bit of an easier fit for most stuff, as you'll find yourself, because it's, you know, square, of course, 533, cropping off the top and bottom or the sides and making things fit, which has its own benefits. It means you never really need to chase a particular rotation for a target that only just fits. But inevitably you end up wasting some sense of real estate when trying to display an image in full on a normal 16:9 format screen. Whether that matters to you or not, of course, is entirely a personal thing. Let's just see. Lubo. How's it going, Lubo? Good to see you, buddy. Driving now, only listening. Well, drive safe, buddy. Hope you have a good one. 676 was intended for use as an all-sky camera, so that's why they used IR cut. So it's purposely meant for that then. I did wonder why it just, you know, came with that lens, and I assumed it's just what comes with these things usually, which I think it does. But yeah, if that's its main intent, then I can see that does make sense, Dave, yeah. I think they have a replacement window. They do indeed, mate, yeah. From Cloudy Birmingham, says Steve Grunfeld. Well, good to have you here, Steve. Thank you for joining in. Harky Ollie. Just a little thanks for all the advice, mate. Luke is a top bloke. Oh. You're too kind, dude. Thank you so much for that. For the $25 tip. You're a king among men, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Really, really kind of you. Yeah, crikey. Thank you. Thank you again, by the way, to everybody for all your support on the channel. Right down to leaving likes on the videos. You know, it all adds up, all makes a difference. And I appreciate you all. Hope you know that. Is there a Rasa 925? There isn't, Frank? No? Good question, though, mate. It does seem odd that they just kind of skipped over that, but I don't know. I guess the focal length, you know, like between the Rasa 8's 400mm and the Rasa 11's 620mm, kind of already doesn't leave that much wiggle room for an insert in the middle. So maybe that's why. Ordered an ASG photon cage as well. Ooh, nice one. Ben, oh, so you heard my message rather about the EQ8 clutch. Might explain the deck jumping. Yeah, could be, mate. Could be. Worth a check anyway, innit? At the end of the day. You're never boring, says Dual. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. SMA Sky, by the way, hello to you as well, buddy. I think we're nearly getting caught up now, with any luck anyway. Anything you plan to capture this year that you haven't captured yet? Asks Astrovino. Ooh, that is a good question, mate. I really want a nice image of the Ring Nebula. And I kind of have got one. I've got a personal best, but I know I can do better. It's just a case of fitting it in alongside, you know, like trying to make content as well. I used to like doing, obviously, the vlog style videos where I'd introduce, you know, like, hey guys, we're going to shoot this target tonight. Here's what we're using, and then have it, you know, a result at the end. But the videos don't do that well. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether it's me or my pretty basic editing kind of thing, or how I frame the videos, or whatever it is. But regardless of the reasoning, they don't do so well. What I'm finding is doing a lot better for me on my channel these days, and I'm having fun doing them. It's like comparisons, that kind of thing. That's what I've been focusing a lot of my effort on, you know what I mean? And live streams, of course, especially. Thanks to you guys, do really well. Far better for me than any of my videos do, to be honest. So yeah, that'd be my thing. If I had infinite clear nights to spend on it, I really would like a lovely image of the Ring Nebula, a good deep one, you know, showing those extensions in hydrogen, especially as well, around the outside. Let's see. A Rasa 9.5 and a Rasa 6. Yeah, I mean, they've kind of got the Rasa 6 with that Celestron Smart Scope. All they need to do is unbolt that from the mount that it comes with and offer it for sale. You know what I mean? I think that'd probably be pretty popular. Apps are telling me it's 90% clear, says Drunk Cola. Yet looking up and it's 100% cloud cover. Yes, I've had that kind of thing before, mate. Mark, good to see you, Mark. Good morning, Luke. Morning to you too. Hope you're having a good day ahead. Thinking to get a 2600 MC for your Rasa, says Psycho Busu Jishima. Sujima. I have 100% butchered your name there. Nearly caught up. Nearly. Still want to see a C-Star broadcast. Says Cosmic Ray. That would be a nice one, mate. Yeah. I'd like to do that kind of thing. It's just figuring out exactly how. I reckon to get a broadcast done live, you know, like if you're meaning a live stream from outside, I'm probably going to need to invest in a laptop just specifically for the job kind of thing. There's a fair bit of software that needs running. There's obviously encoding and uploading a stream at the same time, as well as probably running my imaging software on it too. My current laptop's a bit old for that kind of thing. It's definitely something I'd like to do though. Subscribe and hit that like button, says Casey. Thank you very much indeed, mate. And turn on notifications too. Hit that bell, as the YouTubers say. Michael Clive just bought BlurX, StarX, and NoiseX on your links, mate. Oh, thank you, Michael. That's a lot of support, mate. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do that. That's extremely kind of you. Thank you. Scott Noel, hoping a 585 mono gets released as well. That would be cool, Scott. And by the way, Michael, thank you again, of course. I really do hope you enjoy those tools, mate. I fully, and I mean this, I fully stand behind it. I think they are the best tools on the market. I know they're expensive, but I found them worth it. You know what I mean? Never once did I think, oh, wish I hadn't spent that. No. Ben says, I wish I would release the Origin OTA with or without the camera for EQ mounts. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, mate, wouldn't it? It looks like we just triggered our first autofocus of the session, so I hope that this goes off without a hitch now. That would be cool. Keep considering that little 585 for your Samyang 135. Says Ollie, Astro Soundscape right there. Yeah, I think that would be an interesting little combination right there, Ollie. Dave says there may not be a 585 mono. Most camera manufacturers use off-the-shelf sensors, and the 585 and 715 don't have mono versions yet. There's always going to be like some person or some company offering like a manual physical debayer, you know, where they'll like scrape the Bayer array off the actual sensor. I know that some people used to do that kind of thing, but yeah, a proper from manufacturer raw mono version would be nice. Side tidbit, not that you asked, but here we have it. When people used to offer those manual debayering options for cameras that were intended as one-shot color only, and they'd scrape the Bayer matrix off, they'd also unfortunately take off the micro lens array that often comes on these Sony sensors especially, which leads to lowered quantum efficiency, unfortunately. So yeah, a little bit of a kick in the nuts if you were looking at getting the best out of your camera with one of those services. Sam says, insane. I was gifted another month and I wasn't even in the stream. Better notify, I guess. Well, welcome aboard for another month, Sam. It will be Lone Monk Casey who gifted you a subscription this time, buddy. He gave out 20 more at the start of this stream, so congratulations. Let's see, we're nearly getting there, I think. Ed Holt, good to see you, Ed. Gathering and checking over comparison data is something that most users don't have the time or cloudless skies to do. That's why vids like yours are so useful and succeed in the astrovid market. Thank you very much indeed, Ed. Yeah, it's a double whammy for me. I mean, the videos do pretty well, and I like doing it. Basically, so you know, it's no sweat for me, spending clear nights on that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm glad to go down well. Now I'm hooked to Luke's live stream. Crikey. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Casey says, every time I watch your streams, I end up buying something. Sorry. I really am sorry about that, Casey. Now I need a 585. I really like them, Casey. I would say, mate, if you already have access to a proper Astro cam, then there's maybe not too much of a rush on your hands. What camera do you currently have, Casey? I'd love to know. Player 1585 looks particularly cool in black. Yeah, I love that carbon finish that they opted for on it. You're probably wondering why it's giving this... Oh, you can't actually see it, can you? But it's giving a message, and it's a good opportunity to talk about why this has happened. That's the camera. So in the bottom right, you can see, warning, new focus points HFR is significantly worse than the previous HFR. And you might think, oh dear. Well, because of the nature of what we're doing, we're running through bin 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I told it to refocus every half an hour. We can't guarantee that it lands back on the same filter, or rather the same binning value that it initially started on. So if we get a focus that happens while it's on bin 4, for example, or something like that, that would significantly skew things. I imagine that's what's happened. If not, we will see in a moment this graph go a bit squiffy. Everything would be elevated if it got worse. Let's just see real quick. Oh crikey, I'm actually miles behind. I'm so sorry guys. I am going to keep trying to like catch up and read through every single message that I possibly can. Maybe if you have a USB-C, you can get an adapter to output HDMI, which could go into a computer and capture as a USB camera. I know that my DSLR, I can output and use that as like a sky camera kind of arrangement. The audio capture is not going to be good enough though, really, to run a live stream through, I don't think. But I do have another recent one. You can see these things right here. Not that, you know, it matters to most people, but a pair of wireless mics, which can actually interface straight up as long as the receiver is plugged into the PC via USB. I can use those for the live stream, so I can be walking around all over the place and, you know, keep in contact with you guys properly. You can connect your phone to Windows to share the C-Star screen. Interesting, Lubo. You know, I've never actually set up that, you know, the Windows phone connection thing. I'm like phobic to new features. I always wonder what's the downside. Manuel Alejandro Cavaria Silva. I hope I got your name right. I tried. It says, hi Luke. Hi Manuel. Good to have you in the stream, buddy. Watching Luke makes you spend more. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm a major advocate for people using what they have. I'll definitely say that. Unless what you have is making you like lose enjoyment in the hobby, then definitely not. StreamYard or Zoom off a screen share. That's true. I know that I can do, because I've got like a feature that gets enabled back on the live streaming thing. I can do a live stream live from my phone, like itself. You can do that once you get, I think, above 1,000 subscribers or something. On YouTube, they kind of turn that feature on for you. Or at least that's how it used to be. So maybe that would be kind of an option we could explore, but I'd be a bit worried about trying to manage everything from just the phone, you know what I mean? I'd have to probably have a second phone so I can have the stream open and then view the chat. Even as I'm describing it now, it all sounds a bit convoluted, doesn't it? We'll have to do something though. I think it could be cool. Casey says, ever since you started to do the Astro live streams, I noticed a lot of others doing it now. Good job, trendsetter. Yeah, I mean, why not, I guess. It's it works. It's a nice way to spend an evening just chatting, you know what I mean? With like-minded folk. It's cool. Getting that same error message again, I will say, guys. So that's a bit of a weird one. You know, I just talked about the autofocus thing. I made a mistake. I've just realized I've got this set to only perform autofocus using bin 2. Yeah. So what I just said about autofocus and the reason it could be skew if it might have started autofocusing during bin 1 rather than bin 2 or something is wrong. Let me just clear that up. Let me just get caught up. Redbeard Joe, good to see you. Good evening, Luke. Took advantage of the first real clear skies in a couple of weeks last night. Why fast? Why I came to bed at 4 AM this morning. My answer, clear skies, excellent guiding. I think no more needs to be said there, Joe. I'm sure she understood. Yeah. In all seriousness though, mate, all jokes aside, I am happy you had a good session. That sounds like a really cool one. Ben McLaren, is Nina saving the files with the names, or are you going to use fits info to determine the different subs? I will sort them by size, Ben. That'll be my determinant factor. I should think it should be pretty obvious, you know, when I just hit like sort by size. If you just go to documents, Nina, scroll down a little bit, open these up, and sort by size. So like obviously there's all the bin 1 subs so far, bin 2, bin 3, and obviously bin 4 right down there at just over a meg each. They're tiny, aren't they? Crikey. But yeah, that'll be what I'll do, mate. Man, I took some very average data last week on my ED80, says Ollie. Then I blasted it with the RC Astro tools and it turned into an Esprit 80. Yes, mate. It's interesting how much these tools are changing hardware requirements. It is indeed, Ollie. It is indeed. And you raise an interesting point there, to be honest. In the past, you know, before those tools, and I know not everybody likes them. I don't share the sentiment, to be honest, because I absolutely love them. I think they're only a good thing. They're just a new tool that we have access to, and they should be employed as such. But for me, I would now recommend someone perhaps not, you know, if it's not important to them, not spend mega bucks on the ultimate refractor or something like that at 10 grand. When, let's be honest, you're going to get just unnoticeable performance difference out of something like the ASCII 120, for example. And BlurXTerminator. You know, your money's much better off spent. It's a far more value proposition. Getting the latest and greatest tools. Getting the most out of your system that way. At least that's my view. As long as your scope is really good, that's good enough. You don't need to go for completely blooming excellent anymore, I don't think. But if you do have the option, money's no object kind of thing, then do so. As it is always better. But by how much? Just thinking aloud here, by the way, guys. Sorry for the ramblings. It seems we're stuck in an autofocus loop. I will say that. So, what I might try and do, if it fails this time, I could restart the entire sequence because it successfully focused at the start, or pause the sequence, turn off the auto routine for now because I won't have the time to troubleshoot this during this session, and focus with the baton off mask. That might be my best option because there is a decently bright star right there in the field of view and we could absolutely use that to focus on, I would say. EAA, Luco, these long images are boring. I'm sorry about that, Ray. Yeah, I've got to do these sometimes though, Cosmic Ray. If I don't put the time in and you know, get these comparison videos and things like that shot when I do have a clear night, I just end up trying to play catch up, mate, to be honest, and it's super frustrating. Trying to do that. As much as I love doing the EAA streams, and I really do, I also have to, you know, make content for the long form subscribers as well. Dr. Nat, how's it going, dude? Hope your lass is taking it easy baking the Astro, baby. She is, mate, yeah. What's your advice on a dual narrowband filter? Ooh, seems like a bit of a minefield. And you got the 585 Cosme. Awesome, mate. Well, the 585 is a great choice of camera. I'll just congratulate you on that straight away. And as to dual narrowband filters, it depends a little bit on what sort of speed your scope is, mate, your imaging scope. And how much you want to spend, as well as, of course, there's options available all over the market, mate, at various different prices. They are going to have some drawbacks on, let's say, the cheaper stuff. You might find halos and whatnot. The more expensive you go, generally speaking, at least, the better the quality control is, the better the filter should be, just natively. My favorite filter that I've used so far has been the Player one. Duo filter, so they're 3.5 and is it 3.5 HA 3.7 Auction 3 or something like that. That's the band passes. Really nice filter, but it's expensive, mate, I'll be honest. You're probably going to get a good 90% plus the performance if you opt for something like an Optilong L Ultimate, that kind of way on. So yeah, depending on what you want to spend, that would be my advice. Doing my best to get caught up again. Sorry, guys. Thank you again. 3D printed Binov mask. Oh, awesome, Vino. That's really cool to hear, mate. Worked a treat and great quality. Brilliant. Always love to hear that. I have the 174. Oh, so Casey, I've just caught up now, Casey. I realise I'm a bloody mile behind, mate. Sorry. So you're telling me about your cameras, as I asked just a moment ago. 174mm, 174mm Mini, 220, 294, 2600, 2600, 224 and a 678. Oof. At that then, Casey, I mean, 585, oddly enough, would fit quite nicely with your raster rate and give you a lot of resolution. But equally, since you've already got a 2600, I'd probably just use that, mate, to be honest. If you get along with that thing and enjoy using it on the raster 8, then there's not much need to swap to a 585. But I don't think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you did. It's a bit of a tough one. You've got a lot of options there, you know what I mean? Your stream made me want to get a HEQ5 a while ago. Ooh, but luckily an EQ6R Pro came up. Brilliant, mate. Congratulations on that one, Sam. Looking at the scope image, great if Luco imaged at night. Yeah, mate, it's not quite as bad as it looks on there, but it is bright outside, I will say for sure. Fortunately, Pete's cam still hasn't bloody updated. That's a bit awkward. May as well knock the sky cam off for a minute, and we'll try again in a second. It looks like it is going to get stuck in this auto-focusing loop, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just before I run into any more issues. Let's stop this sequence. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know why I had a bit of a brain fart then. If it'll behave itself. We'll manually focus using a Binov mask, and then we'll get back on with it. And we won't need to focus again until dawn breaks, basically. I'll just wait for this to finish. Whatever the heck is wrong with it. Looks like it's selling its guiding, and that's what's causing the issue. Don't know why. Alright, so imaging mode. Let's try Pete's cam. Hey, seems to have caught up a little bit. The time's wrong, though. I'll kick off a loop. In hydrogen, into... Right, I'll be back in just a moment, guys. I'm going to pop the Binov mask. This scope. Crikey, I nearly stacked it coming down my steps then. Right, so Binov mask is on. We can see we're pretty close. If I just increase the exposure time on this, or maybe go with 3-second loop. So it's going to be a little bit of a labour of love. It's getting this thing in focus, but it should stop us wasting any more time. So zooming in on one of these, we can see that the first group of dots, the easiest one to see, is very slightly shifted across for us. So I don't know which direction we're going to have to go. I'm just going to guess a small movement out. We'll see what happens. If it's wrong, then we'll go the other way. And it is wrong. We can see that that's, you know, it's worsened the pattern. So move back for one. And one more movement. Let this settle. See if it needs another little nudge. It does indeed. Sorry about this, by the way, guys. I realise this is probably a little bit boring. I'm doing my best. It's just, you know what Astro's like. It gets a little bit chaotic at times. Especially when stuff just isn't working like it's meant to. So the reason I'm having to give it so many little nudges is because of the size of the step size on this thing. When you click the small, the one arrow button, it moves it by half the autofocus step size. It needs a couple of those. That looks pretty good. I'm going to say, let's just let it settle just one more moment. Sorry. Yeah, we're in focus. So that'll do me. I'll go ahead, stop that loop now. Skycam, get this thing off. Whew. Man. Alright, I am back. Even though it looks like I never left on the laggy Pete's cam, unfortunately. Why is that thing so far behind? Yeah, anyway, it is what it is. Let's go back to this view. Get the sky cam on, maybe it'll catch up. At some point, I'm going to turn off the autofocus options, because it's just going to cause us no end of grief in it. So let's pick up where we left off. Didn't need to slew and center either, but we have had a few dithers, perhaps, so, or I think we have. Why not let it recenter? And now I can catch up, hopefully. Hey there, Stan, by the way, I've just seen your message. Now you need a 715 to image small targets with your raster 8. That would be cool. You can run multiple ASI Air sessions alongside the C-Star app on one phone and any desk. Lubo, you're too advanced for me, mate. Rode Wireless Go. Yeah, sorry, I'm realising now I'm a bloody mile behind on chat. I'm so sorry, guys. I will get through it. Luke's live streams single-handedly driving Astro sales up. Oh, crikey. Gotta go, says Chris. I've undoubtedly missed you, but just on the off chance that I haven't, Chris, thank you, mate, for popping in and giving your support, as you always do, buddy. Really appreciate you. Have a great night, Luke and all. Thank you. SMA Sky says, I enjoy the Astro community around YouTube. Fun to hang out in live streams and host your own. Indeed, mate, yeah, it's a lovely thing that we get to do. Marvin R is asking, where is the RC10? Do you still own it? I seriously debated keeping it, Marvin, but it just didn't make sense having 3 scopes at that kind of focal length. So I've got the Maxitov 180, which is 2700mm focal length. Then I picked up the Edge HD11 at 2800mm focal length, and then to keep the RC10 as well at 2000mm focal length just really didn't make sense to me, to be honest. Especially given that when I got the Edge HD11, I also got its reducer. So, yeah, I can image at 1960mm with that thing, mate. So, yeah, Yeah, as nice as it was, and it really was a nice scope, it just made more sense to keep this thing. Lots of bends. He needs affiliate links. AP130 GTX owners are feeling personally attacked, says Michael Clive. I'm sorry, Michael. I know what you're on about, mate. Yeah, a few minutes ago I was talking about the I think the diminished need these days for absolutely perfect optics. If you're going to use AI-powered tools, that is. You know I have the 130 on the way, Luke. I feel slighted. Well, hopefully not, mate. I never meant to imply that. If you have the money to get a wonderful scope, you should do so. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? But I think all I'm trying to say now is that the barrier to entry for really beautiful, crisp images is definitely lower than it's ever been, thanks to these tools. You can make a 1,500 quid refractor look like a $4,000 refractor. You know, $4,000 plus, really. With those tools, it really closes the gap. And I see Ollie replying to what I was talking about back then. It's so weird. We're having this like lagged conversation. It's almost like I'm on Mars and there's communication lag. Sorry about that. SV Bonnie 102 double applet. 102 double apo. If I could talk, I'm tripping up over my own tongue. Once you apply the tools, not far off your older spree that you sold. Yeah. Advantage of the ultra high end is that they are time machines. You don't have to mess with anything, stuff just works out of the box. You can get a good image off of any kit. Yeah, that's fair to say, Michael. In balance though, I mean, so too did my ASCAR 120, you know what I mean? It worked straight out of the box, no issues. I know it's not always like that though, and I definitely appreciate what you're saying. 140 Apo from ASCAR is only 2,800 Canadian. Half the price of an Esprit 120. Really, Don? Oh, man. I mean, I loved my Esprit 120. I really did. I thought that was one hell of a scope. Because it was. But I've got the ASCAR 120 now. And I don't miss the Esprit 120 as a result. Suppose that tells a tale all of its own. With the higher end kit, less stuff is wonky and you do more imaging. Yeah, I mean, if you get a good refractor and it's good day one, chances are it's going to be good day 1000 as well, regardless of what you paid for it. But there is a little bit of a fallacy, I think, at play sometimes as well, where, you know, you think because you're spending more, you're definitely going to get a perfect product, and it's just not always the case. I mean, have a look on forums. I know it's not common, but I just want to put it out there, you know. Let's say people dumping money into Takahashi or something like that, and then it has to go back because it's arrived like it's been delivered by plane without a parachute, just knocked out of collimation. Doesn't always happen, and you are more likely, I know, to hear bad stories rather than good, just by the nature of it. People self-report that kind of thing more. But yeah, it's not like you're guaranteed to get a perfect scope just by spending more. What's your opinion on a Questar? If I was a millionaire, I'd own a Questar one day. As I am not, I shan't. Yeah. Beautiful looking scopes though. Overall quality of all kit, especially refractors, has come up a lot. As Ollie says, yeah, that's true. F10 doesn't need to focus every 30 minutes. 1 hour or 2 hours after meridian flip should be enough. You're quite right, Lubo. Yeah, I was a little bit overzealous there with my autofocus routine. We can definitely say that for sure. No doubt everything's getting better. Agrees Michael Clive. Yeah. Thankfully as well. Yeah, I remember the bad old days. Crikey, I've owned some scopes that were absolute dogs over the years, you know what I mean? Just like so bad they nearly make me quit because, well, we're talking a while back, but of course back at that time I had to have one scope at a time, so I'd buy a scope, and to get that scope I had to sell my previous scope, so I went through a bunch of different ones playing the game of, you know, the grass is always greener, and it very rarely was. I think for most of those early years of scope swapping, I should probably have stuck rather, if my English wouldn't fail me, with an ED80 or similar. Redux, totally not jealous of you being able to image at these times. I'm in ball 3 to 4, but in Norway, so I haven't seen more than a handful of stars in the past couple of months. Crikey, mate, yeah, that far north. Even worse than it is for me by far. But in the middle of winter, you're going to get a heck lot more dark sky than me. Dr. Nat on the filter advice I offered, awesome. I'm glad that were useful to you, dude. Tip for remote observatories and ASI Air, an old Android phone, Wi-Fi or 4G router, battery for backup, and AnyDesk. Damn, dude. That's involved, but if you can make it work, Lubo, that's all good. Get us W8BYA call sign says, Luke, what flat panel do you use and how long exposures do you shoot for a camera like the 2600? The length of the flat exposures I use, get us, depends on the scope I'm using and the filter that I'm taking the flats through. Of course, on narrow filters it has to be longer. For longer focal ratio scopes, it has to be longer, and the inverse is true. Of course, as well for faster scopes and broad filters or no filters. Do have a problem with my flat panel, however, get us, I use a huge A2 model, absolutely massive. It flickers a little bit, and I think it's because the brightness of that panel is controlled by a pulse width modulator. I really am having trouble speaking tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. So there's like a high frequency flicker that goes on. So if your flats are too short, you will inevitably catch some frames that are dimmer, some frames that are brighter, depending on where the pulse is at that given moment in time. So yeah, I try to dim it down quite a long way and go with flats that are as long as possible to average out those modulations within. Hope that answers that one for you, get us. Use the Anker night chroma cameras to monitor your scopes. Don't have to be concerned with any IR affecting the subs. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, I've turned off the illuminator kind of thing on my Reolink CX410. So there's nothing actually illuminating the scopes at all from this. It's just, this is all just whatever light's hanging about. Is Pete's cam doing 2-minute exposures? It's not, mate. No, it should be doing, what is it, about 10 FPS, something like that. It's just failing us a little bit on the live stream, unfortunately, buddy. Asik Astro, hi from Sweden. Hello to you too, mate. How's it going? Nice to have you. Lubo says, anyone using one session of Nina or uses PixInsight for editing is more advanced than a person using two ASIS and a C-Star on the phone. I don't know, mate. Don, in 2017 at Astro, Cats could have bought EQ6 and a 120 Esprit for 5,000 Canadian. Wow, man, has things gone up that much for you guys? I mean, everything went up for us too during the mysterious events of 2019 onwards. Well, as did everything really, but yeah, crikey, I didn't realize things had gone up that much. Thomas has got to head out. Appreciate the live stream. Well, thank you for joining me. Appreciate you watching. Credux says, oh yeah, during the winter, it's dark enough from 5 p.m. till 8 a.m. But also 1.5 meters of snow. I guess it's not always better then, yeah. Queeve, how's it going, Queeve? Stupid question, but what is your sleep schedule like? Are you a nocturnal creature in general? I actually am, mate, yeah. Ever since there being no like main work reason or anything to get up, it's just, this is my job, YouTube. So I get up when suits this, which naturally puts me into a sleep pattern that suits me anyway, which is night. Kind of nights I'm awake. I've pushed everything around. I think I'm probably secretly Australian. That kind of thing. I'm on like their daytime. Let's see. The lazy geek Luke has evolved not to need sleep. Yeah, I have, mate. I've I've pushed it around so far. People have been saying though in comments on the child incoming announcement video that it's probably going to work out all right because Chloe will be up during the day and then I'll be doing the night shifts. On your daytime too. His sleep schedule will soon be sleep. Was sleep. Thanks for the comments on the flat panel. Shoot at F7 and devised a homebrew panel using an external second LED screen. I was thinking of 3 to 5 second flats to ensure clean, noiseless flats. I mean, if that works for you, mate, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm almost certain I've missed some chat, but I think I have just about caught up anyway. Pete, good to see you, Pete. How's it going? I must say, Pete, your camera tonight, mate, is been playing up a little bit for us. It's not doing too bad right now, it seems. It looks like the seconds are counting up and we're okay, but crikey, earlier on, it wasn't doing you a service, mate. All jokes aside, I don't know what the heck's been wrong with that thing. You're welcome down under, says Ollie. Thank you, mate. The Italian kangaroo, Queeve and Luco, both my Astro heroes. Oh, crikey. Well, thank you for saying that, mate. My head's going to grow so big, though, I'm not going to be able to get out of my observatory door. Casey says, here we go. By the way, I finally saw Dune 2. And you're right, it's good. I'm really glad you enjoyed it, Casey. Truth be told, I rewatched it 2 days ago. So we sat down on the couch, me and my parents, and I said, right, it's time. You've got to watch Dune. So we went through the first one the night before, followed it up with Dune 2 the day after, and even my mom, who's not normally into futuristic space films, as she calls them, had to admit that she enjoyed it. So that's a hard one seal of approval. Callum, hey Luke, hello to you too, Callum. Finally caught a live stream. Good to have you. Just bought an Altair 26C. Congratulations, mate. We'll work on concerts. So with it being festival season, I haven't had any time to try it out. Thanks for the streams, mate. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome, Callum. Very nice of you to pop in and spend some time. Pete says, just like its namesake. Oh, crikey. Yeah, no, it seems all right now, Pete. I've no idea what the heck's been going on, though, buddy. Been a weird one. It got caught up about a half an hour behind at one point, rather oddly. For anybody just joining, by the way, you may be wondering why we're just looking at a black and white image of the Bubble Nebula, and it's because I'm using this stream as an opportunity to gather some data for an upcoming video where I'm going to be trying to compare bin 1 versus bin 2, bin 3, and bin 4 with a mono camera, a HA filter, and a long focal length telescope. So what we're actually trying to compare is different sampling ratios and see at what point we're undersampled, what point we're oversampled on just your average given night. There's nothing special about tonight, you know what I mean? So, yeah, thought it might be interesting to make a video about that, and that's what we're doing. Queef saying, on that 5,000 Canadian to 5,400 Canadian from the Esprit, that's actually less than inflation. I think you were mentioning, Queef, you could have got also a EQ6 at the same time for that. And holy crap, Pete, with the £300 donation to the stream. Oh my goodness, mate. Pete. Well, everybody, now you know why it's Pete's cam. Crikey. Pete, you're an absolute legend, mate. I can't thank you enough for the support that you've shown to me on this channel, mate. I just can't, mate. I hope you know how much I do appreciate you. I really, really do. Unbelievable. I can feel all this blood rushing to my head. I don't know what to say, mate. Unbelievable. Pete is the man. Crikey. I think I have to rename these streams to the Pete Appreciation Society streams. Honestly, mate, thank you. Thank you. Imagine if we had Chuck and Trevor and Nico and Dylan all in here now. Let's see. Asi Castro. Somehow as a clear skies to set up your Hyperstar 925. I think you mentioned actually last time you'd just got that 925. Congratulations again on that, by the way. Getting your sharp cap working with light stacking, etc. I think you're there now. Brilliant. But no real dark skies. Yeah. Well, when it does become dark, you're going to be able to make the absolute most of it, I think, mate, with that nice fast rig. Do love them. Psycho says, I know this session's for a future video, comparing bin profiles, but what will you be comparing? So basically, yeah, mate, that it's going to be comparing the bin 1, 2, 3, 4 as best I can to demonstrate the effects of altered sampling ratios while leaving absolutely everything else the same on the setup. So it's, I always take great caution when saying something's a bit of a scientific test, because it's not, is it? You know what I mean? It's been done by me and I'm a bloody numpty, but I'm doing my best to make it as fair as possible. You know, the only thing I'm changing for these comparisons is going to be binning ratio. Redbeard Joe says, with the 585, do you find that you have to take double blue filter shots or longer exposures in blue? Or does the curve hit the zone just right? I assume you mean the fact on the quantum efficiency graph, Joe, the 585 looks to have a slightly diminished response in blue. Never had a problem with it, to be honest, buddy. I agree. It looks like it should be an issue, doesn't it? But I always find that once my images are stacked, they look pretty good straight away, just after, you know, a basic color calibration. Yeah. So I don't worry about it. Crikey. Again, I'm just scrolling by there with Pete's unbelievable donation. Pete, mate, you are a legend. And thank you again. And a face cam on, Pete. I mean it. I really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Oh, crikey. Yeah, I appreciate you all, though, obviously. I hope you do know that. Support tonight's been bloody fantastic, guys. Thank you. Luca Matico, brought to you by Pete. Yes. Yes, that could be a good advert. Let's just see. Is the 585 better for planetary, or is the 533 better? Ooh, Sam. Tough question. Oh, you meant for DSOs, sorry. Bit of a toss-up, I'd say, mate. Bit of a toss-up. I could say, obviously, you're going to gather a little bit more light on any given rig with the 533 due to the fact that these pixels are a bit bigger each. But the trade-off of that is that your sampling ratio is a little bit coarser, so the 585 will probably get you a little bit more detail. Whether you can extract that detail due to the, you know, quality of your skies at home and the rest of your rig is that's a question I can't answer for you. But I think they're very comparable cameras. At the end of the day, they're just very slightly, I don't want to say for different tasks, because that's not accurate either. It's a tough question. I think both are great. I can honestly strongly recommend either. By the way, what's up with that sawtooth pattern in the HFR and number of stars? Good question, Queeve. So Stefan Dahinden asks the same thing earlier on in the stream. So why we've got this sawtooth pattern going on is because as we're running through a bin 1 sub, it's going to naturally have the largest HFR, as the mass of these stars that's getting measured for the HFR is being spread over more stars on an unbinned readout. So as we then move to bin 2, it drops right down. Bin 3 goes further. Bin 4, we're concentrating the mass of those stars by undersampling then onto fewer and fewer pixels. So naturally the half flux radius drops also. So that's why we're seeing that cyclical, you know, kind of sawtooth. Bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4. Bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4, and so forth. That's why it's repeating itself. Hope that helps explain that one for you there, Queeve. Question about guiding, says Longhorn Astro. I'm using a NIX 101 with Nina and PhD 2. When the scene is bad, I'm noticing huge swings in my RA and deck. Ooh, using 1 second exposures. No, I wouldn't say it's too short, necessarily. It's just that the NIX is a harmonic mount. You may find you get better results dropping that down, actually, from where it is to a half a second guide exposures, that kind of thing. At least it's definitely worth a try. I would say the only chap I know that's got hands-on experience with a NIX, unfortunately, just left chat about 20 minutes ago. But that'd be my suggestion to you. Just try first dropping the guide exposures. I know you mentioned using PhD 2, by the way. With a harmonic mount, they have wide variances in their periodic error across the cycle. You may wish to turn down how much history of previous adjustments is applied to future adjustments using this setting right here where it says hiss, that's hysteresis, I think, is how it's pronounced. Drop it right down. I don't know what it defaults at, but I dropped it to. So it's not using too much of its previous history. It should apply its full calculated correction to each and every incoming correction. Could be useful for harmonics in particular, I think. Hope that helps you at least a little bit there. And I'm sorry I couldn't be slightly more specific to your situation with the NIX. I've never used one, unfortunately, mate. Stan says, and quite rightly, Stan says, Pete is an awesome dude. He likes to help out. He is indeed. And I also want to say as well, for anybody in chat who doesn't know, when you're looking for another Astro channel to watch, our good friend of the channel, Pete, has just such a location. So check out his channel, Pete's Astrophotography. He's been putting out sorts of nice content now, to be honest, for a good while. So yeah, well worth a look. Well worth a look. Are you using multi-star guiding? Asks Queeve in relation to Longhorn Astro. Good question. Let's just see. I am, yeah. Hey there, stargazers. There's Eyeless Nevermore. Good to see you, buddy. Rotating through the bin-ins, that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, Queeve. I know you joined late, mate, and I forgot to re-mention. Have you put up a string to see if you're getting wind gusts when you're downstairs? Ooh, like a wind meter. That's pretty cool. Got to go do a sprint planning. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much indeed for coming and spending some time, Queeve. By the way, another shout out, of course, my friend Queeve is an absolute legend. He's got a fantastic channel. Check him out if you haven't already. And holy moly. Crikey, guys, what's going on tonight? $99 from Jason Astro. Greatly enjoy your videos and enthusiasm. Mate, thank you so much for that. And thank you to everybody. Yeah. Crikey. I don't know what to say. I mean, just thank you. I hope you know I do appreciate you guys and the support that you give. It's no small amount of money. You know what I mean? It's a bloody ton. And it makes a huge difference to my life. So, yeah, I hope you know that it's not just forgotten about 5 minutes from now. That's for sure. Do you know what I mean? That is for sure. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And holy moly. Coming in again with the support. Sean with the 10 gifted memberships, mate. Crikey. Unbelievable. You are wonderful. That's why you're such great donations. Oh, mate, that's too kind of you. I said earlier on in the stream, like, we had some fantastic donations from Casey, Christigata, early on in the stream, and I said the same thing. It's something, obviously, I struggle with a little bit. I don't really feel like I deserve any of this. That's why it's a little bit of a struggle. It's a strange situation. What a wonderful situation to find yourself in. People offering you support like this, it's bloody unbelievable. But yeah, all I can say is just very genuinely thank you. I really do appreciate you all. And welcome, by the way, to all the new members. Fantastic. Matt Draxler just joined in. Evening, Luke. Sorry I'm late, but glad I caught some of the stream. Awesome, Matt. Well, it's nice to have you, mate. It is indeed. Let's just see. There's one lovely image. Anyone know if a Hyperstar 925 would illuminate the off-axis guider for 2600 Duo enough to be suitable for guiding? Almost certainly, yeah. Almost certainly it would, mate. I think the positioning of the actual, the built-in guides chip on those 2600 Duos is pretty well placed. They haven't put it, far away from the main sensor, so it's only like illuminating really the furthest edge of that 16:9 format sensor. So if it illuminates the sides of the sensor, it'll illuminate that guide chip too. Hope that helps you if you're thinking of making a purchasing decision there, Gimmick. Are you going to stick all the frames together or separate by bin value? Asks the Italian kangaroo. I will indeed be separating these up, mate, to be honest, for the video. What I'm hoping to do is put together, like a 4-panel side-by-side comparison, download link as well for the data. That's something I've been failing at doing just recently. But a download link for the data for anybody who wants to download it and take a look on their own monitor, because I know that YouTube compression sometimes makes these side-by-side comparisons a bit squiffy. And yeah, just allow people to do that kind of thing through my efforts on this kind of thing here. Always happy to share data. I'm nearly caught up once again. It's great seeing all the support. It is, mate. It's unbelievable. Like I say, who could ever really come to terms with that kind of outpouring of support, though? It's unbelievable. You put up with us and offer good advice. Oh, mate, not at all. I think you guys put up with me. Especially when I'm doing a stream like this, which is not very dynamic, let's be honest. We're just looking at ever-changing subs of the bubble. But it is what it is. Good night, everyone. Greetings from Brazil, says Tiago. Can I use a Player 1 Neptune C2 for Nebula and achieve some good images? You can. Indeed. It will be a little bit of a challenge due to the small size of the sensor, though, Tiago. So depending on your telescope, that could pose problems such as not fitting targets you want into the field of view. And if you use plate solving, sometimes you'll have issues plate solving with very small sensors because they don't pick up too many stars. Can be offset a little bit, though, by using longer plate solve exposures like I've done here tonight for this, as I'm using a very restrictive field of view, as you can see. This is a small target, and it's it's taking up the full field of view that I have. I hope that helps you, Tiago. Matt says, if you didn't deserve it, I don't think you would get it. Very kind of you to say that, mate. Fantastic content from a genuinely great humble. Ah, mate, you're too kind. You're too kind. Thank you very much indeed for that. It's lovely to hear. The wonderful Bubble Nebula, says Grandmaster Yoda. The target that never gets too much focal length, or much focal length it does not get, as Yoda would say. So, sorry, that was terrible. I think this lack of sleep's getting to me. Who in the chat has a YouTube channel? I've subscribed to some already. Well, channels that I know of: SMA Sky, Pete's Astrophotography, if he's still in here, Astro Soundscape as well has a channel. Queeve the Lazy Geek has a channel, and I'm not actually sure if I've missed anybody there, but I probably have, unfortunately. Do you have any recommendations on a beginner's GPU? Ooh. Now that's a good one, Joe. Are you going to use it for just solely image processing, Joe? Because, I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong. But depending on your available budget and how you feel about spending money on what really is just time-saving upgrades, a GPU for processing, if that's what you mean it for, that'd probably skew what I'm about to recommend. If you're using it for other stuff, like me, I like to play video games, you know what I mean? A whole lot. Love them. It was worth it to get something quite nice. So I got an RTX 4070 Ti. But whatever you do decide to buy, make sure it's an NVIDIA card, as that's what most of, you know, the software is I don't want to say optimized for, but it is designed to really work with CUDA cores, which is specific to the NVIDIA offerings. That was a really long way about going and saying things, but yeah, hopefully it did make some sense. Should be able to go live again Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the weather. Nice one, dude. I'm in Devon, so often you're live streaming at the same time I'm trying to do some Astro. It's great for passing the time with sessions. It is indeed, mate, yeah. Alfred Terrence, greetings from the equator. Nice one, Alfred. Hope you're having some fantastic skies out there, dude. Anyone have a big fan I could borrow? I need to blow away some clouds. Oh mate, I wish, yeah. Casey asks, have you thought about the Rasa 36? Oh, I would love one, Casey. I would, but it's just, they cost an absolute arm and a leg, don't they? You know what I mean? Of all the things coming up in life that I've got to spend cash on, as much as I'd love to spend it on a Rasa 14, if I was in that ballpark, I'm not. I just don't think I could justify it. If I had a ton of cash, though, I probably would justify it. I'm naughty like that, yeah. Thanks for the shout out, Lugo. Hey, no problem, dude. Love to get an NVIDIA RTX, but need a whole new desktop. Run off a generic laptop right now. That's fair enough, mate, yeah. Was thinking image processing and maybe video processing. Oh, okay. So if you're thinking of getting into making videos, Redbeard Joe, I suppose that's another little bit of a value added to your GPU purchase, potentially. I will say, depending on what video editing software you use, though, will limit its usefulness. Oh, crikey, Casey. $50 right there. Bloody hell, thank you so much for that, mate. Going straight into the Rasa 36 font. Oh, blimey. Thank you so much for that, though, mate. I genuinely mean it. Thank you. That's extremely kind of you. What were I saying now? It's gone. Oh, yeah, video processing. I use DaVinci Resolve, I'll just say that right now, for all my video editing. I don't have the paid version, I really should, but I don't. So it doesn't use GPU acceleration when it comes to time to render, which is a bit annoying. Maybe I should stomp up and buy it one of these days. But yeah, consider that, I guess. Gotta go get my Wi-Fi repeater set up so I can do some video Astro broadcasts, says Ben. Fair enough, dude. Let's see. Been raining for almost 3 weeks now. I had to put a hold on M27. Oh no. Just scanning back over now. Just thank you again, by the way, Casey, for that. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Pete. Unbelievable. Guys, your support has been just... Then I don't know what to say, how to react. Other than just to say thank you. Crikey. So much green. I feel like I happened upon a member stream by accident. Created a cloud filter. Not selling it. Damn it, Steve. Oh, you'd make some money with that one, mate. Or diapers. Yeah, probably. I use DaVinci Resolve as well. Very good software. It is, Pete, isn't it? Before I used DaVinci, I used... what were it now? Shotcut. That's the word. Yeah, Shotcut. Not bad. Also not great. It very much felt like free software. And that sounds like a brutal put down, doesn't it? But it's not. It helped me grow my channel. But the time came when I needed to get a little bit better editing software, and thus came along DaVinci Resolve. Made a big difference. Got everyone then. Thanks, Luke. Awesome. Let's just see. Yeah. Crikey. Well, we've got about another, I would say 30 minutes-ish before we start running into dawn. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a decent amount of exposure for tonight. I'm going to go ahead quickly and just count these up and see roughly how many we have. So, Nina. We're on the wrong day there, though, good sir. 7 for the 7th. We have... Ooh. So we have 78 frames, so as good as 80, assuming they're divided up equally between the bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4. We can say we've got about 20 shots per binning value, so not too bad. Not much, but enough for a short comparison, I would certainly say. I'm looking forward to doing this one, you know. I'm a bit more excited about this comparison than I have been about other ones in the past. I think it's going to be interesting. We talked a little bit earlier on about AI-powered, you know, software aids for processing. BlurXTerminator in particular is what I'm thinking of for this. And I did a little bit of a test, just like privately during a... I can't say it were a clear night because it wasn't. I was just shooting through a hole in some clouds, but it were enough for a short test. And I'll just find it real quick. I think I saved it on my desktop actually. Here we are. Put together a short test. So this was M57 shot with the setup behind you, but with a one-shot color camera. Bin 1 by 1, 18 1-minute shots right there. The bottom one, bin 2, 18 1-minute shots. So you can see there's a little bit of a drop in sampling ratio, giving us those slightly undersampled stars. The appearance there, not as great, okay. But when bin 2 was resampled ever so slightly, or we can say drizzled, just by a small amount using AstroPixel processors. So I recorded it right there in the Fits header. You can see this was drizzled 0.8 droplet, 1.2 scale. So about a 20-ish% drizzle factor applied. That ended up looking sharper than bin 1, while still retaining what I think, at least I think so, was a really, you know, quite fine sampling ratio. At least it looks to me anyway, like there's definitely more detail in the separation of those stars, that group in particular, than in the bin 1 shot. I don't know. So I thought, why not extend it, do a test where it's as fair as possible. Bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4, you know what I mean? That's what we're doing. Sean Maston. Sean, thank you again, by the way, for your support as well, buddy. Good night, everyone. Thanks for the stream, Luke. Thank you again for dropping in, dude. It's been really nice to have you. SMA Sky has DaVinci, but for simple edits, been using the video editor built into Blender. Okay. Never tried that. Telescope stuff and metal shaping tools for fixing hot rods is your weakness. Fair. Oh, man. Sun's not even set yet for you in Detroit. I hope you're having a good night, mate, ahead of you. Binning goes hand in hand with the focal ratio discussion. It does indeed, Pete. Yeah, 100%. Genevieve. Very nice of you to join, Genevieve. Love listening. Thank you. Well, it's very nice of you to say that. Thank you for joining in the stream. Stunning. Alfred says, a bit old, but I must say I thoroughly enjoyed your observatory build video. Well, that's nice to hear, Alfred. I must say, I'm glad I put that one together. I was so busy during like the few weeks it took to actually nail this build and get it kind of done. That setting up the camera sometimes just felt like, oh, do I really need to be doing this? But I did. I'm glad I did. Because I watched it myself a little bit back, you know what I mean? And I'm glad I had a record, effectively. That's one of the beautiful things about YouTube for me. It's a nice continual record of where I was at any given point in time, you know what I mean? I've been able to see even my personal... I don't want to really say like personal development, but I've really came out of my shell a lot, you know what I mean? I used to be a lot quieter on camera, we shall say. The idea of doing a live stream or something like that weren't going to happen, mate. Back when I started off on YouTube, but now it's easy. It's fine, you know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. Yeah, going off on a random tangent again, but there you have it. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Greetings from New Zealand, says James. Good to have you, buddy. Hope you're getting some clear skies over there. Much sad it wouldn't let me gift a membership. I was going to try and get Eyeless Nevermore and a few more viewers. Oh, mate, that's very kind of you, though. Very kind of you indeed for even thinking of doing that. Greetings from Texas. No Astro here tonight. Waiting for Hurricane Beryl to pass. Oof. I hope it passes without incident for you, mate. I really do. Yeah. Sorry, I'm checking someone that's popping up on my other screen now. We're all good, I think. Crikey. Live streaming can get a bit confusing at times. I'm not that familiar with it. I'm comfortable being on camera, but all the rest of it, yeah, not the best at it yet. Or I try. I'm a trier, if nothing else. Even though some people say I'm trying on their patience. Now then, throughout this entire session, I have been running simultaneously with my AM5N rig outside. I don't think there's any way I can really share this with you on the screen, other than if my face cam would actually focus, which I don't think it will. And come on, you can do it. Oh, just about. You can sort of see some nebulas to there, can't you? This thing's been running all night, chugging away no issue, actually, which is really nice. Gathering some data on the Bubble Nebula, the Northern Lagoon, and the Lobster Claw, with a wide field refractor on that new AM5N. That's been some fun, as that. I really like that rig. Oh, crikey. Pete. Mate, you're at it again. 50 gifted memberships. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Holy hell. That's... Man, I don't know what to say. You guys tonight have been blowing my socks off. Thank you. Just thank you, mate. I really, 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 really mean it. I will try and get caught up. I'm sorry. I keep getting blindsided with the nicest things, but still. What was the new PixInsight update this time? I'll be honest with you, Casey. I avoid updating PixInsight like the plague, mate. It seems like every time I upgrade it, do I have to fix everything. It's a bit of a nightmare. SMA Sky, that's kind of where I'm at. Don't really like public speaking. Dreaded talking in class all through school. Slowly working up to speaking in my streams. Oh, mate. Well, all I can say is, and as you've observed yourself, what better place to start than the Astro community? You guys are fantastic. You really are. Welcome aboard to all the new members. Crikey. Stephen says, thank you for the entertaining live stream. Well, thank you for joining in, Stephen. It wouldn't be the same without you guys. Of course. Crikey, 5 gifted memberships as well now from Ben. Ben McLaren. Thank you so much, mate. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Love when Luco finds out what Pete did. That's it. I'm always playing catch up on chat and then I'll see something pop up and I'm like, oh god, here we go. Crikey. He is the man. He is indeed. This, like I say, this is why. I mean, this is why it's Pete's cam. You know what I'm saying? Quite literally. What's up, Luke? Looking to buy a new mount, says FerbG. Starting fresh, thinking about the new coming Nix 88 or the WE17. Ooh. Can I be very boring and suggest that you get an AM5N? Man, I mean, I've nothing against the competition. I haven't had any hands-on experience with it, but I do have some friends who have. You know, friends I trust, regular viewers of the channel, that kind of thing. One of them owns a Nix, and he owns two AM5s, and he kind of just wishes he'd bought a third AM5. So I want to throw that out there to temper your excitement somewhat, but yeah, the new AM5N, I've tried it out 2 times now, out under the sky. I know that's not much, but man, it's a nice mount. It really is. Just trying to catch up again ever so much. I'm having a brain fart. I am done. Honestly, mate, I am. Something like this happens, and I'm just like lost for words. Don't know how to properly convey how grateful I am. And then I feel like all blood rushing to my head. It's a weird feeling. A very nice one. A very nice one, but a very, very strange feeling. Casey's saying not the only one. I see, yeah, regarding PixInsight updates. Mate, they're a nightmare. Yeah, so unless PixInsight an update offers something I really want to check out, to be honest, mate, I just hold off. I don't bother updating. Let's just see. Same here, I don't like being on camera at all, but working up to it. I mean, yeah, mate, I was the same, like I say, for a long time before I actually put in my first video on my channel, when I'm stood there like a deer in the headlights kind of thing. You can see it, it's still up, you know, on my very first videos. Everything's crap about the video, but the reception was such that it made me think, oh, people didn't just, you know, write comments and take the mickey out of me. They actually were supportive. So, yeah, all the stuff that you think's going to happen is mostly just in your head. You know what I mean? We're his own worst enemies with things like that, I think. Right from day one, it's just been a supportive environment and made me glad putting myself out there. And of course, super glad now that I've been able to turn like a hobby initially, doing something I love, into a job. How mad is that? And I hazard at calling it a job because it doesn't feel like one, do you know what I mean? Oh, crikey, I've just seen as well. Ben McLaren. Oh my goodness, mate. Once again, what an absolute legend you are, sir. Oh, crikey. Thank you, mate. Just catching up as best I possibly can. Stu is imaging Stefan's quintet. Awesome, Stu. Wishing you the best of luck with that one, mate. Luke's an awesome live stream host. Thank you. You have the kindest members. I really do. You're not kidding. Updated PixInsight. Lost all repository info. Oh, Stephen. I feel your pain, mate. That's rough. I've named my new roof opener after Pete. Yes. Pete's roof opener. Pete's there for us all. We all need to be a little bit more Pete. And Ben and Casey, you know what I mean? It's... Yeah. All jokes aside, bloody hell, guys, you blow my mind with how kind you are. Yeah, thank you, Ben. Just caught up with your very kind donation again there, mate, with the $20 for all the advice and all the hard work. Oh, mate, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Other than polar alignment, says Longhorn Astro, the Nix 101 is an amazing mount. Stop messing with Nina Freestar, use a Pole Master. So that's at least good to hear someone's loving their Nix 101. Good to hear it. By the way, Longhorn, I don't mean to sound like I'm trashing the Nix mounts or anything like that. I don't know the first thing about them. I've never tried one. But I have tried AM5s and I love them, so. Live streams made my imaging session go so fast. Great live stream. Awesome. Glad to hear that, Tom. Oh, realise I've got my microphone by about my chest. Hopefully you can hear me properly again. Let's just see. Nearly there, I think. Nearly caught up. In the last month, I've been mentioned for one night, says Stan. Oh! Crikey. I think that's true, Luke. Everything is always worse in our heads. It ends up being not so bad after all. Yes, mate. 100%. Of course, it's really easy in it for me now to just go like, oh yeah, just put yourself on camera. It's bloody terrifying first time you do it. Yeah, of course it is. I've got nothing but respect, honestly, for anybody who gives it a go in any form. In any form, because you really are, when you put something out there on YouTube, opening yourself up for public judgment, be it for better or for worse. Sometimes, you know, it is for worse. I've certainly had my own fair share of not so nice comments, you know what I mean, occasionally. Fortunately, they're few and far between, but yeah. As you say, it's almost always worse in your head than it is in reality. Day looks great. Thank you, Casey. If you mean this one, mate. Yeah, it's not looking too bad, is it? These are 1 minute subs from an F10 scope, man. It's really pretty surprising what you can see these days. Thanks for the honest answer, Luke. Says Ferp. Hey, no problem, dude. Thinking about getting the new 150 carbon from Apertura. Pair one of those mounts. Nice. Thinking about the Ares M as the main weapon. Well, that's what I'm using tonight. The Ares M. I think the 150 carbon Hypernuke from Apertura, if I'm not mistaken, Queeve the Lazy Geek has one of those. So before you drop your cash, you know, if you're looking for more advice and stuff, potentially drop him a comment on one of his videos. He might be able to get back to you about that one. But again, it's something I've unfortunately no direct experience on. I only ever like to, well, you know, as is reasonable, I only ever like to really comment on things that I've got direct experience with. Did guys in the UK catch the F1 race today? I didn't, mate. I got up that late, to be honest with you. This is another thing. I don't know what's been wrong with me, and we're going off on another tangent here, but man, have I been tired. I can't seem to sleep enough. Unbelievable. Just been recently as well. Normally I'm alright, but I'll get up after like 7 hours or so. That's when my body just wakes me up. I feel like I need to go back to sleep for about another 7. I don't know why. Your observatory is located inside a campground. Very nice, mate. I'd imagine campground probably goes like hand in hand with some decent skies as well. It's usually in pretty idyllic locations, aren't they? Ollie, just there. Hey, Luco. Enjoyed hanging out, mate. Thanks for the live stream. Catch you on the next one. Thank you very much, Ollie. And I will catch your video as well, mate, that you mentioned. Just, yeah. I'll definitely get that done. Dang, I'm late. We'll have to watch the replay. I'm glad people find replays useful. Just after reading that comment as well, Nick on Jax. I've just realised I did say to someone during last live stream I wanted to try and put chat on screen somehow. As some folks report that it doesn't show up for those, which is a bit annoying. But at least I do try to read every comment out, so you're not missing out on too much, I suppose. If live chat doesn't show up for you after the fact. Aaron says, to FerbG, he loves his AM5 as well. Brilliant. Try and catch up. Ben McLaren talking about trying to run on Nice Guys Network. Oh man. Yeah, it's one of those things, like I say, there's no two ways around it. I guess unless you're a massively extroverted person with no fear at all of what people might think of you, then it's always going to be a frightening thing and like a hurdle for a while. Putting yourself out there on camera for that first time, it definitely was for me. But as with anything, the more you do it, the easier it gets, to the point where now I can just, well, as you're bearing witness to, I can ramble for bloody hours on end, as long as I've got something to chat about and people to chat with. Really easily, I can just be myself on camera. And it's a nice situation to find yourself in, you know what I mean? It's no longer a stress, it's just a positive in my life. I can only recommend it. Like I say, to anybody who wants to give it a go, just give it a go. Cabstar 150 says Aaron, and it's great. It's good to hear. Nick says much better tracking than the AM5. That's cool, mate. Well, I mean, I've had really good luck, I guess, with my AM5s. I've got access to 3 of them now. So I own one myself that I bought. I've got another one that I was sent for review, and a late model AM5. That tracked great as well. And now I've got the AM5N here for review as well. I don't own it, but and that track's great as well. I don't know what it is, mate. Whether I'm just having real good luck with them or something, but 3 thumbs up from me. Yeah, always been happy with it. But yeah, it is genuinely good to hear someone happy with them. The Nix mount as well. They do look fantastic. Did we lose the stream, or is it just me? Hopefully the stream is still active. Looking forward to Nebula season again. I want to try the dumbbell neb. Oh mate, that's such a nice Nebula, isn't it? One of your first DSOs. Yeah. Just see F1 for the win. Must admit my bottom lip was quivering a bit. I did see, I think if it's today we're talking about, did Brian May wave the flag for Lewis Hamilton? I could have sworn I saw that somewhere. I hope I'm not just hallucinating that or something. You're feeling similar about sleep of late. I do wonder what it is, mate, to be honest. I know for sure it's not just me. But I wish I knew exactly what it is. It's making me feel so unrested. Silverstone, one of the best tracks. Oh, mate. Thank you, Don. You're the best, Luke. Oh. Always learn stuff from everyone on here. Thanks for all the tips. Yes, mate. That's what it's all about. As long as we, can chat, share, whatever we know. Everybody benefits, as far as I'm concerned. Let's just see. Good people, good luck. Brian May was there, right? That's it. Where the heck did I see that now? I don't even know. Dave Huff, thanks for another great stream. Have a good night, mate. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, we will be wrapping up in just a minute, guys. I think I've finally caught up now with chat as well, and yes, I have. The heat has been brutal, especially when doing solar. Mate, we had like 41 degree once kind of heat over here in the UK, and it was just no thanks, never again. It was horrible, dude. I mean, 20 odd is a bit hot for me. We're at, well, 27.4 is reporting right here, 40% humidity inside the observatory. I'm hot. I'm pretty uncomfortable. Well, crikey, I can't imagine what it's like for some of you guys over there. Brent didn't want to talk to Martin Brundle. Good night all, and thanks for the live stream. My pleasure, Paul. My pleasure, mate. Thank you for joining in. Dinner time, then need to get set up for imaging the wizard. Brilliant, mate. Wishing you the best of luck with the wizard. Yeah, so, spot on. I think we're about done, guys, to be honest. I'll let it take... What are we currently on the sequencer? Have I just got 4x4 highlighted, or is that where it's at? I don't even know anymore. I'll let it take a couple more subs anyway, and then we'll wrap it up. Crazy muggy for you, Ben. Yeah. It gets like that here in UK, though, you know. I think that's one of the things that most people like. Well, let's say people in America, when they'll be like, it got to 30 degrees, what's wrong with you all? Which is fair enough. I know it gets a lot hotter for you guys over there in a lot of places, but that 30 degrees can feel pretty darn grim, mate, with enough humidity, can't it? Yeah, as you all already know. Get us. Thanks for the fun evening, Luke. Good luck with the data. Video on the processing might be very cool too. Potentially, get us. Yeah, I'm thinking whatever we determine from this video, then I'm going to try and put together comparing these HA subs. We'll run with, and we'll go ahead and for a future video, we'll actually go back to the bubble, capture some oxygen, capture some sulfur, and go ahead and make a proper, you know, Hubble palette image, I think, from it, and share that with you guys as well, and maybe do a process along or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, as Casey's just mentioned that, are you going to complete it, or is it just for this video? I am indeed intending to complete this one, Casey. It's just this video is a bit of an experiment almost. So the results of which are going to determine my approach for future sessions on the bubble, and probably future sessions on other stuff too. I'm hoping to learn something from it, basically. You should try and come down to Australia for Dylan O'Donnell's star stuff one year. Crikey, mate, yeah. Maybe. Question: if you want to connect a C8 to an ASI 2600mm, what hardware do I need? If you want to use that C8 at its native Longhorn Astro, then you'll just need the visual back adapter, not the visual back adapter. Disregard the imaging back adapter, which should go onto the Celestron kind of baffle nut. And you know what? I'm describing all this. I've actually got one to hand. I will grab it and I'll show you. Right, mate. Should look something like this, and it's basically the counterpart to what you use for connecting up your visual setup to that C8. So it's like a baffle nut adapter right there that slips on the adapter itself, so you can tighten one independent to the other, thus determining your resultant camera rotation once it's threaded on. That's what you will need. As to guiding though, a C8 is quite a long focal length, as you well know. So you may need to use an off-axis guider. Because I'm using super short subs tonight, I'm getting away without that. I'm just using 1 minute subs with a guide scope. And a Barlow bunged in it actually, imaging at 430mm. We've got a little bit of a minor disaster happening here. See if I can... Crikey, that was stuck. My microphone boom arm just nearly fell off live on stream. But yeah, guiding is going to be your next challenge, of course, but take each challenge as it comes, I would say. Hope that helps you. Muggy in Detroit as well, yeah. 92 Fahrenheit and 60% or more humidity. Oh, That's proper grim, mate. Always great to catch you. Hey, thank you for joining in. Looking forward to seeing your results on this data, as I'm thinking about getting a 6200 and bin 2x2 on the RC. Oh, Pete. Pete. Yes. Well, I can tell you, Pete, one of the inspirations actually behind doing this setup to begin with was you'll be familiar with Bill Blanchon, of course. And one year he was sharing me some data from his 6200 that he had coupled up with his Edge HD11. And he'd run some brief tests, you know, bin 1, bin 2, bin 3. And honestly, we couldn't see a great deal of difference between them. Not a great deal of loss once all was said and done, and he drizzled his data a little bit. So I think it happens to be a great fit, and you could use that camera, of course, on other rigs without the binning. You know what I mean? What did the 120 Apo get tonight? Asked Casey. Good question, buddy. It is. Allow me to get it up for you. Just a second. Here we are. So I've remoted into Chloe's PC. Just zoom in and see what her later subs look like. So here we are. She's been taking subs on the Bubble Nebula as well, all night long through a dual. Crikey, I've got an itchy nose. Sorry, a dual narrowband filter. The player one, Anti-Halo Pro. That's its name. But yeah, really nice filter. Pretty expensive, if I'm being honest with you, but it is a good filter. And it pairs up bloody fantastically well, mate, to be honest, with that 585 at that 860mm focal length. It gives you quite an interesting way to frame a lot of objects. At least I think so. So she's done okay. She's actually got a couple of hours of data out of tonight. And that same region again has been imaged all night long by the AM5 rig outside with a 2600 MC Pro through a 300mm refractor. So it's been very much the night of the bubble. Just think if this session was EAA. Oh mate, yeah. I do love the EAA sessions, I really do. I'm sorry if this one has been a bit boring to watch, guys. But yeah. Oh, I should have said as well, by the way, how long Chloe's exposures were. They're just 60-second subs. So that's a 60-second sub at f7. And that's what it looks like. Good bit of detail being picked up. I think that beautiful little nodule, or whatever you want to call it, in the core of the bubble right there, is going to look fantastic once it's been tret to some processing. You know what I mean? We can definitely see it coming out nice on the subs on this thing though. So this is a bin 1 sub. Zoom in a bit. There's a lot of detail in that, I would say. It's going to look good. Right then, guys. I think we're running into dawn. In fact, we're definitely running into dawn. I probably should wrap things up. I've taken up enough of your time and goodwill. I just want to say, and I mean, I want to look you in the eye and say, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate your support, guys. All of you out there. All the ways you give it. I always wrap my videos up with it. And that's because I bloody well mean it. I couldn't be doing this without you. And I hope you know that it's not just glossed over and unappreciated. I do appreciate you. So, yeah. Cheers. Hopefully, look to come see this video coming out. Ooh, what can we say? I tend to like to make use of a Friday release spot. The video is obviously a fair bit of effort to make, and I want them to have the best possible chance at success. And it seems like Fridays, 1 PM or so for me, works out alright. Gives them a bit of time to ramp up over weekend, etc. So probably look to see this one coming about then, unless there's been some, you know, ridiculous development, which means I've wasted an entire night somehow. It wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, right. I will see you in a little bit. Don is just asking, how big is the bubble compared to M45? Mate, a huge difference in size. Yeah, the bubble is like the core of M45 only, just the very core. He's tiny, dude. Just trying to catch up, make sure I'm not missing anything. Great stream once again. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Jason. Oh my God, I mean, thank you everybody. Casey, Chris earlier on. Oh, it's been unbelievable. The support has been unbelievable. Thank you again. I will wrap things up. I realise it seems like I'm stalling. Maybe I am a bit. But yeah, this last sub's coming in. I'll catch you all later on, the dudes. So look forward to seeing you in another session. Look after yourselves and those around you, and clear skies. Thanks again.